Guys, what is happening? Welcome to the stream. We're here today and we're going to talk about my last minute thoughts. If you missed it, I streamed yesterday with Bakar. It was great fun. We're going to make that a weekly segment. We have a few other weekly segments coming up. Tearing up the script, getting stuck into the season. So look, thanks to everyone who's here. Let's get stuck in. Give me all your questions in the comments. I'm here. I'm going to talk to you for half an hour, 40 minutes. Let you know my thoughts. And there's obviously one big massive elephant in the room. We all know what it is. It's Reece James. Reece James. Vicious rumours over on Twitter that he wasn't pictured at training. He wasn't at the hotel. He's not here. He's not there. Where is he? And bottom line is, some people are saying there's going to be a late call made. Maybe he does play, maybe he doesn't. But it begs the question, that's 6 million sat on our bench potentially. Who is your bench option? If you're sitting there and you're relying on Andres Pereira to come in against Brighton, maybe you've got Nico Williams. I don't know. Who have you got? Nico Williams up against Man City. You're not going to want that. So the question becomes, is it worth rolling for a week? And, if I was actually shown how to say Cancelo. So, yeah, I think the thing is, with Reece James, I was talking with Bakar last night, and I personally haven't really loved the whole double exposure to Chelsea. I have James and Cucurella. Now, personally, I believe if you have got Reece James, if you do want to spread it, if you have the 2 free transfers, you have something to do, you're not going to have to take a hit. I don't think moving to Cucurella is that bad a move. Personally, I think getting the million in the bank, whenever we go and we'll have a look at their stats, I'll just ream a couple of them off with you here. In terms of XGIs and all the rest. Now, James is definitely doing better than Cucurella in terms of numbers. His XGI is 1.8 versus Cucurella's 0.7. His XA is 1.12 versus Cucurella's 0.63. XG 0.67 versus 0.07. And his expected points of 15.39 is better than Cucurella's 9.85. So all that said, James is definitely outperforming Cucurella massively. Now, there is a 1 million difference, 6.1 versus 5.1. But the injury risk tonight, where the question comes, is how aggressive do you want to be? We're all talking about sprints, we're talking about marathons, and I know a lot of people are saying, and it's very fair, and you can do this. Ultimately, a lot of you might just decide to sit in your hands, get more information for the weekend, stick James on your bench, trust your bench option, and I think that's all very fair. I really do think that's fine. But what we're here to talk about briefly is the people who've said, I'm sick of James anyway, I'm sick of Chelsea. Even if you're not, I'm sick of big at the back. I don't know, maybe you're not after the week we've just had with the big at the back. But ultimately, we need to have the conversation for people who have decided, okay, Reece James is a massive, massive doubt. At the time of recording, it does look like he's not going to play. We have 56 minutes to the deadline. I'm getting rid of him. Who do I get in? And there's a few things that come up there. I think there's a lot of great names, but ultimately a lot of us will already have them, and or maybe they're blocked. So like a Saliba, maybe you've already got a Ramsdale, Martinelli and Jesus or similar. So there will be different options for different people depending on the price you can afford, depending on the players you already have in your team. But a few guys that I've seen sort of come up early days are Dunk. Dunk is someone I'm seriously considering. Saves a bit of cash. He has scored really well so far this season. He's 22 points in the bag, which is, puts him sort of top 10. He's, what's there on the list? He's about 8th in terms of all defenders. He's only 4.6 million, which is outstanding. His XG is very low. His XA is very low. In terms of bonus points, he's picked up a couple so far. But I think Dunk comes into the conversation really because of price at 4.6. I think Saliba is another one who comes into contention, the highest scoring defender to date. He obviously got that goal, a screamer, the XG 0.16 so far this season, and he scored from it. XA of 0.45. In terms of bonus points, he's picked up 6 already, and he's at 4.7, rapidly rising. I do see that as a nice kind of switch. If we go and I have a quick look at the fixtures for Arsenal, Villa now coming up this week. United at the weekend. United have looked a bit better, but then you have Everton and Brentford before probably wildcarding before Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, and then City. 3 very tough fixtures in 3 very tough fixtures in 4 weeks. So I can see the thought process behind all that. A lot of people talking about Estupinian. Hit me in the comments. What's the draw there? What's the stat that everyone's going for? Is it fixtures? What is everyone going for him for? Is it the price? Hit me with it, because I was looking up numbers and stuff and nothing jumped out at me. Let me know. Why no FPL Salah episode? It's just a quick turnaround between the midweeks. FPL Salah will be here on the normal game weeks, I hope. It's just a case of we had 2 days to turn around. Picard was on yesterday. I'm just doing this today. But obviously it's a very quick turnaround. Another couple of streams later in the week. And a regular segment coming back. You won't know what it is till it happens. And I don't care. Some of you don't like my sound effects, but you're going to have to deal with them, because I know some of you do like them, and I like them. But anyway, we have a lot to consider. Perisic has been spoke about an awful lot. You know, people are speaking about Perisic. It is again one of those where if you were getting rid of Reece James to get him in, you're kind of getting rid of a guy who's a doubt for this week to get in a guy who's maybe going to be doubtful in terms of rotation over the next few. Man City in a couple of weeks' time. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I think Perisic is one of those players, though, that what we've seen of him so far, he can do incredible. And it's all great when he's getting those 73, 75-minute appearances like the last 2 games. But whenever it's the other side of that and it's the 15, the 11 or the 24-minute appearance like we've seen earlier in the season, you're not locking in clean sheets. He can get assists. He can get goals. He's looked very, very good. His underlying numbers are insane. But ultimately, I just don't know if I like the move. You're saving 0.5 million, which is nice. But you're kind of getting rid of uncertainty for more uncertainty in my mind. But I think Perisic, again, if anyone does it, fair play, because, I mean, he does look obscene. Outside that, you know, there are a load of defenders. Ping your defenders in the comments about who you'd think about going to from Reece James. If you were, put it this way, a lot of you aren't going to sell him, and that's fine. I think it's a very good decision, depending on the number of transfers you have, depending on whatever else. Any leaks about Haaland playing, time is ticking. Well, let's hope we get some. If you get any spoilers, pop them in. We'll talk about captains soon, don't worry. What do you think about Rodrigo out for Paqueta after both London derbies for West Ham? Oh, there's so many good questions here. Get in the defenders that you would bring in for Reece James, and we can polish that off and move on to the next question. And later I'm going to tell you the transfers I'm going to make. I think I might make 2. I was gonna make one very easy one, but I think I might make 2 now. Go a bit ballsy. I think Paqueta coming from Lyon. I watched a good bit of him at Lyon. I love Lyon. I watched a lot of them because I'm a big fan of Max Kakare in midfield coming back from injury. Ryan Cherky, some of you have probably heard of, very exciting. Just that whole team in general. I loved him when Bruno Guimaraes was there, and then he moved to Newcastle. Unfortunately, he's injured. But Paqueta has been really, really good there. He's done bits at international level too. I think he's an outrageous signing. He's the type of signing top 4, top 6 clubs should be making, really. I could see him fitting in at a lot of them. I'm surprised West Ham got him, to be honest. He's even the type of player I could see going to much more elite European clubs. So I think they're very lucky to have him. I think he's going to be kind of what Bruno has done with Newcastle. I'm not saying Paqueta's the same type of player by any means. He's a bit more attacking, but ultimately I think he'll have the same sort of whirlwind effect, and I think he'll take to the Premier League like a duck to water. Reece James hasn't travelled due to illness. Yep, peace box, that's what we're having a wee chat about. James to Dunk this week, then Pereira to Diaz. Okay, well that's the big thing, and that's why I kind of like the Dunk move. You're banking 1.5 million. And if you've got 1.5 million in the bank, you can upgrade other pieces, you know. And what I'm looking at, spoiler alert potentially, but I may as well just chat about it now briefly. What I'm seriously considering is I'm looking at, if I was to go Reece James out, and then if I bring in, let's see who's actually predicted to score the most of the next few weeks. Dunk's right up there. If I bring in Dunk, that leaves me 1.8 in the bank, actually. Dunk, sorry, he's went up a little bit, blah, 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 and I had a bit of money in the bank. I can afford then to go Bailey to Rodrigo. The numbers might be slightly off here based on what I've got in my bank, but I can't afford this. I can't, just on the nose. So I could be potentially looking at, let me see, can you see it all there now? You can. I could do that. 2 moves. We could get rid of Reece James, bringing in Dunk, who's Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace in the next 4. Then we're getting to wildcard territory anyway in Gameweek 8. for game week 9. So that means Liverpool, Tottenham, you'd be getting rid of him then. Probably the same with Pascal Gross. But got him for 4 really solid fixtures. He's scored really well so far. They've looked brilliant. And on top of that, I'm upgrading Bailey to Rodrigo. Do I think Bailey and James do better than Dunk and Rodrigo over the next 4? No. I think Dunk and Rodrigo outperform James and Bailey in the next 4. Based off that logic, I like the move. It adds me the depth with the uncertainty. People unsure about Haaland. I'm going to play him. I think he plays now. I don't think this is the game he's rotated. And even if he only plays 30 minutes, I genuinely believe he can bang. I don't think I want him captain. I want Salah captain personally this week. Newcastle, Nottingham is definitely an easier fixture, but I think the extra point for the goal, Salah chomping at the bit, ruin missed chances in the 9-0 win. The uncertainty around Haaland's minutes. I just like Salah more this week, and I've been kind of anti-Salah this season so far. On that note, I've really debated tearing up the script, but we'll get back to that. Ultimately, what I'm saying here is I like the Rodrigo pick, and the beauty of it is that he probably wouldn't even need to be on the bench. I could bring in Rodrigo, but it's who do you bring it in for? And that is where I suppose the downfall comes with this team, where even players who don't play 90 will probably get 15 because of the 5 subs rule at least. So the chance of calling upon a sub is low. So what I could probably do then is switch him in for Dunk. So then, I've enabled me to go from James to playing Rodrigo against Everton, which is a great fixture for this week. And I think that's a nice move. So I really like that move. And I like this team. This is how I think I'll line up come 6 o'clock. Unless anyone really changes my mind. Love these moves, says Peacebox. Benching Dunk this week, though. That's the problem. I would need to bench Dunk, but it's a really, really solid bench option. And I mean, it does give me a bit of depth over the next week or two. There's no real fixtures there for any of my guys that I'm going to want to bench them, to be honest. Dunk will probably concede to Leicester, but then he's got Bournemouth in a few weeks. And in that same week, Cancelo's up against Tottenham. I fancy him to concede. Benching Cancelo seems absolutely mad, though, but I think it just allows that bit of depth. Anything can happen. The main reason of the pivot to Dunk for James, it's not for a hit. I have 2 free transfers, Craig. I think the big reason here of going James to Dunk is to get the money to go to Rodrigo from Bailey. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if we're looking ahead at just sort of game week 5, 6, 7, and 8, if we're looking at 4 game weeks, okay, James is out for 1. Let's say James is out for 1. James could be out for 2. Right? James could be feasibly out for 2. He's out for 1. He might be out for more. Bailey is unpredictable and whatever. So if I look at those 2 players and I go, okay, well, I can get rid of the uncertainty of both of them. And for that, I can get Rodrigo, whose numbers are through the roof, who's playing well, who has great fixtures. And I can get Dunk as a guaranteed starter, not affected by European football, great fixture player. I just think it's a no-brainer to use my 2 free transfers. I really do. So that's where I'm at. Bailey's value is also in free fall. I've probably left that too late, but the reason I like to leave my transfers late in the week is exactly the type of news like we have now with Reece James. So I think this is how I'm looking. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is it the move? I think it looks like the move. I might go and get it locked in. I'm not going to say it's locked, but we're getting very close. So, guys, we've got questions here. On the captaincy debate, right? I suppose I can pull my team back up. Salah against Newcastle. Like, the thing with Salah is we're all very frustrated. 9-0, he got no returns mad. He literally missed a chance from 1 yard. And he missed another sitter from about 4 yards. And he had a couple of other chances that could have been something. And he had a couple of other passes that could have been something. Liverpool won 9-0. They're playing Newcastle at home, and Newcastle have a couple of injury issues. I think Liverpool continue to steamroll. I don't think they'll steamroll Newcastle 9-0, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 2-3-0 job or maybe 3-4-1 type of job. Based off that logic, and Salah's guaranteed to play, I think it has to be Salah. I think Haaland... I'm torn myself. I'm so torn. Because Haaland is Haaland and he's got Nottingham Forest. Who faced like a million shots and concede goals and all the rest. And I mean, Haaland can do the damage in 30 minutes. This is a headache. I think this week, I think they're both great options. I think whichever one you're going to watch the game of. I think both are really solid options, and anything can happen. I don't think it's like a 70-30 call where one is blatantly the right choice. Do you know what I mean? I think it's one of those where they're both really good choices, and maybe one's a little bit better. In terms of bookmaker odds, I think Haaland is most likely to score. Calm down, Natalie and Bruglia. What if Haaland scores 6? Jack B, you've convinced me. I'm not even joking. You might have convinced me. A lot of people saying Haaland won't be a starter. I don't like the logic of Captain Haaland if he doesn't play, if Salah as vice. Because the problem there is that he's probably going to play 15 or 20. He might play 30 or 45 though. Haaland might be benched. But if he's benched, he comes on for 20 or 30 minutes. So do you want a 20-30 minute Haaland, or do you want a 90-minute Salah? I think you go 90-minute Salah. It's like a triple amount of game time potentially. So yeah, I think you're asking me there, bench one, Saliba, Walker, or Tony. I think it's not the hardest thing in the world, that question, but I just want to double check something with Tony. Who's Tony up against? He's got Crystal Palace. I think there you kind of have to play your Walker, because if he plays because of Nottingham, will he play though? If that's a question, then maybe bench him. I haven't seen anything about Walker being a doubt, but if he is a doubt, maybe bench him. But I mean, he's up against Nottingham. You have to play him really, albeit their defense hasn't been convincing this year. So I don't know. I think playing Saliba against Aston Villa is probably a no-brainer. And I think you if you've got Ivan Toney, you have to play him. What are you getting if you're not going to play him against Crystal Palace? That could be a 2 each very easily. No worries, Jack. He might score 6. You never know. If anyone's going to score 6 this week, and with that logic, maybe I should put him captain. I don't know. James to Diaz or Martinelli to Rodrigo? Keep Martinelli, in my opinion. I think he's great value. He's only let us down for 1 week. I think you have to keep him. So in that logic, if you really want to make a move and you want to get rid of James, you can get rid of James. Diaz is an option. I suppose it is just that City slot. They haven't looked brilliant defensively. And when we look ahead at their fixtures, they do have Spurs in a couple of weeks, which isn't the end of the world. Nottingham, Villa, Wolves, Man United, Southampton, Liverpool. We're wild carding at some stage in here anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Diaz. I just think we've seen rotation there. I think he could be rotated on a whim again. I know there's injuries and stuff. I don't think he's as nailed as we'd want. Maybe you disagree. Sterling has made me eat my words this year. I didn't back him at all. I did not back him at all, and he's been brilliant. 15 points last week, was it? Fair play to everyone who has him. Up against Southampton, he could haul again, so fair play to you. Foden with a lovely assist there to Haaland last week. What about Foden? I think if you have him, you have to keep him. You're not going to be getting rid of him. Tony, Perisic, or Gross for the bench. You're playing Gross against Fulham. You're probably going to start You're going to have to start Perisic. Oh, let me just check. You're going to have to start Perisic, but you need to be afraid of potential rotation and maybe a 15-minute cameo. I'd hate to say a bench Perisic. I feel if you have him, you have to play him. Surely you have someone else in your team worse, no? I don't know. Just tuned in. Why Salah? Josh, basically it's a minutes thing. It's playing it safe. I mean, again, it goes back to... I haven't even mentioned Jesus. Jesus against Villa. He's looked incredible this year. Whatever about points. He had a 19-point haul. I don't see why he can't do stuff like that again. He's looked insane. He's looked so good. Odegaard is someone we're not mentioning enough either, by the way, as well. 3 goals, isn't it, in like 2 games? Yeah. Sterling vs Foden vs Gundogan to bring in this week. Geez, very different price points. I think it very much depends on what you're sacrificing, to be honest. Walker for Robertson. Is that Walker in for Robertson? I'd keep Robertson. I am afraid of rotation coming soon for Robertson, to be honest. James to Ben Davies, not for me. Anthony Price. I mean, he has to come in around 7 million, does he? 7.5. I know he's a big price tag and all, but when you look at the wingers United already have and their price points, surely he has to come in around that. If he comes in at 8-9 million, no one buys him. 9 million's way too much. If he comes in at 8 million, no one buys him. They all go Sancho, they all go Rashford, they all go Martial, even though he's a forward. But you get my point. He could come in as a forward. No, he won't. Sorry, he'll be a midfielder. He'll definitely be a midfielder. For what it's worth, Anthony is an absolute baller, but I think they've drastically overpaid. I think if he went to Europa League / Champions League club outside England, even in England, I think like if West Ham, if United never showed interest, whatever, you know what I mean, West Ham get him for 40-50 million, maybe 60 at a push. I think United tax was 100% in play here. Rate him big time. I just think they've paid way too much. Way too much. I mean, when you look at I know, yeah, it's a lazy comparison. I won't even make it. I'm going to move on. Bench Reece for Trippier. No. I mean, play Reece, because if he plays, which he won't. So then Trippier will come on for you anyway. But I mean, you don't want Trippier against Liverpool after a 9-0 win, in my opinion. Newcastle defenders this week. Bench them if you can afford to. Maybe you disagree. Guys, while you're here, do me a big favour. Please do drop a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. And subscribe to Hub. We have some great content coming. We have another couple of live streams later this week with people like Bakar. There's the FPL Green Arrow. We have another podcast coming soon. Abdul, aka FPL Salah, comes on regularly, and I'm going to try and mix a few different experts in on a regular enough basis now. So we're going to have lots of different people here on Hub. If you want to catch that content, please do subscribe. You can find me on social at John Nellis. You can see it below my head here. Okay. So, should I go and lock these in? I'm just going to lock this in. Oh. Will I lock it in? There's something so severe about double transfers and Reece James of all people. Am I going mad? What am I doing? It feels worse when I actually have to do it. I was talking with all confidence and now I'm like, I think that could be the move. This is making me uncomfortable. Someone to answer, is James injured? Lots of rumours that he won't play this week. No one knows the long-term story. No one really knows. Lots of rumours. Right, guys, am I doing it? I want to see yes or no in the comments. If there's enough yeses, I'm clicking the button. If there's enough no's, I'll probably hit the button a bit later. I won't hit the button if you give me a viable option. Is Stupinian better than Dunk? Explain this one to me. Why is everyone mentioning him? Estupinian. Let me go and do a little bit of digging, shall I? Estup. Come on. Brighton. Wait there a second. Why is this Estupinian not coming up here? Give me a second. He's not coming up there. All right, so Estupinian, 4.5 million. Team selected by 0.3%. 6 points in 78 minutes. Why do we like him more? Talk to me. Oh, God, there's a lot of yeses and a lot of no's. Fantasy Football Hub, get out of here. My own gang telling me no. Well, what should I bloody do then, Fantasy Football Hub? Do Robbo out, keep James. But why would I get rid of Robbo? What about Guides? I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of them. Oh, I like that. There's a little poll. Go and vote. Can I vote? 13 votes. You'll have to let me know the results. Saliba's better than Dunk. I hear you, but I've got 3 Arsenal already, so we're kind of screwed there. A stupid opinion. I see what you did there, Jeff. A stupid opinion. Higher XG and Dunk no longer the aerial threat he was. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't come up on Hub. I'll have to get that added. Estupinian is literally playing like Perisic does for Spurs. Basically a left winger and still a defender. Nailed as well due to injuries. You're convincing me, Harry. Harry, do you know what? You've got me there. Why not considering Brighton defender? I am considering them. That's what we're doing right now, my friend. Okay. 34 minutes to the deadline. Veltman? Question mark. I think I'm a stupid fan now. Oh my god. You said yourself a Robbo benching is coming. James is better long term, but we know James has the benching coming now, and we're not looking long term. We're looking 4 game weeks max because of wildcard in game week 8. So we have a 4 game week plan. Do you know what I mean? We have a 4 game week plan. Oh, I'm glad you like the Trent. Got that a while back. Plot twist, I'm not even a Liverpool fan. Explain that one. He's going to have some fun about that in the comments. Oh, Simicus has done the official LFC presser for the Newcastle game. I told you a benching was coming. See, if Robbo's benched, I will snap. But the beauty of the transfers I could make here are that I would have Dunk or a Stupinian or whoever first sub. So, let's go back to this. Maybe this team is good because the depth on the bench supports the potential that Robertson doesn't play. But I hear what you're saying. Robertson will still play for 20 minutes. If he can do anything like Simicus does when he comes on, he seems to get assists every time he comes on for 20 minutes. Maybe it's still a shout. Trossard punt. I like it. I prefer Pascal Gross, but yeah, go for it. Why not? All right. I can't see the results of this poll. Alex, if you're there, can you let me know the results of this poll? The reason I can't see it is because I'm working through streaming software. I took out James and Lavia for Rodrigo and Patterson. Okay, so you're basically just swapping James for Rodrigo. That's what's actually going to be playing there. Is Stupinian in, James out. I think that's where I'm going at the minute. All these people saying play Andreas when Fulham will do nothing. That's the other thing is I get it. Like, if Andreas there, so maybe I don't need Dunk on the bench, but he's cheap. He's 4.6 now, so you know what I mean. You could exchange James for Mitrovic, maybe. There is a way that could be rejigged. Unfortunately, I just had Bailey, so I really need to do it. For everyone watching now, this is with my 2 transfers done. My original team has Bailey in it and James. 69% yes, I should do it. All right. The people have spoken. 69% say yes. Okay, can we do one more poll? One more poll, and then I'm going to make my transfers. Maybe if they can do more than 2 options, do them, Alex, when you're sticking this poll up. But ultimately, I want to know Dunk or a Stupinian. And outside that, you can throw Nico in if you want. But I feel weird getting Nico back in. But he is 3rd out of XG. Is it XG? XGI. He's 3rd out of all defenders in the league. Oh, guys, there's so many opinions. But that's why it's a beautiful game. It's a game of a million opinions. And Lord knows who'll be right. Should John transfer out James and Bailey for Duncan Rodrigo? With a 67% yes. We have another poll incoming. These are them. I'm going to make 2 transfers, and this is what I'm going to do. These are the transfers I'm going to do. The question now is it Dunk or other? I want to see your take. I want to see your vote. Get voting in the comments. The poll will be up there shortly. And once we have the results, I will pull the trigger. Plans to Solanke to replace Haaland for this game week. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Solanke didn't even start today against Liverpool and they got beat 9-0. That's money I wouldn't be spending, to be honest with you. If you've got Dunk, I wouldn't switch to a Stupinian. I think it's too sideways. I get there's the upside attacking, but you've the clean sheet covered. I think it's a waste of a transfer. I mean, if you have nothing else to do and you have 2 free transfers and you're burning, you'll probably be able to take 0.1 back from one of your subs or something. I feel like there's something you should do that's not that. All right, the poll is up in the comments. Get voting. Who should I transfer in for Reece James? This player will be on the bench this game week. Lewis Dunk, Estupinian, or Nico Williams? Get voting. This is going to decide it. This is deciding what's happening. This is the beauty of being on YouTube, because then I don't have to make the decision myself and I can blame you. To be honest with you, my decision was to just do Reece James and Bailey out, Rodrigo and Dunk in. So it's pretty much my decision. I'm just willing to tinker the defensive option based on what you say, because I think all are pretty good options. I am leaning more towards Brighton for the fixtures, though. I'd be a bit gutted if you all said Nico Williams. Don't just go and vote Nico Williams now. But yeah, buzzing. Do you know what's lovely? Midweek football. Midweek football is lovely. Something to do of an old Tuesday night. Can't wait. Can't wait. What game are you watching tonight? Are they all on BT Sport? I need to work out which game I want to watch tonight. I'll tell you. Let me see. Which one would I like to watch? I think if I had to pick one of them, everyone's going to watch Chelsea Southampton, aren't they? Depending on my transfers, I might go elsewhere. I'm also a big fiend for Italian football, international football. AC Milan are playing at the minute against Sassuolo, which kind of has my attention. But yeah, get your vote in to the poll in the comments. Estupinian for me, he'll be a real differential. 0.3% ownership at time. I imagine that will increase before the deadline. Late to the party, do you think James is going to be out long term, or why drop him? Don't know if he'll be out long term or not, but I'm looking 4 game weeks ahead and he's almost guaranteed to be dropped for 25% of the games I want to play him in. That's quite a large percentage for me. Potentially more. If he misses one more game, we don't know what's up with him. You could be looking at 50%. So based off that, no thanks. All games are at 12 a.m. in India. Oh no. Sudarshan is not happy. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Alright, let's churn out the results of the poll there so I can see them, and I'm going to have to just act on it. Jesus captain, what are my thoughts? Farias, I like it. I think it's ballsy. It's different. I think if there's a week to do it, I feel like I say this every week now. I just think there's multiple good options, and we've seen that they can all bang on any week. You know, Haaland can do it one week, Jesus another week. Salah does have it in the locker. Any of them can do it. Captain who you want. Just captain who you want. There is no right answer. There will be a right answer, but I think right now the answer, they're all much more tied than you'd like to think. You might think you know best, you might think you're right, and you might think, it's definitely this, everyone else is an idiot, but ultimately they're pretty even. They're all decent. For me, if I had to rank them, I'd go Salah, Haaland, then Jesus. Look out who rotates best for your 4th defender, John. Good advice, Abash. Good advice. Lewis Dunk with 48%. It looks like my initial transfers are being done. Estupinian's down at 35%. Okay. That leaves 16% for Nico Williams. Where's the other 1% actually? But anyway, that's for another day. Alright. I kind of like this Estupinian stuff because everyone's big into it. Everyone's big into it. For me, I don't know, Lewis Dunk. Just proven, isn't he? Is Lewis Dunk more likely to get any bonus? He hasn't really picked any up yet. Has he? No, wait there, he might have. He has. He's picked up 2 bonus points so far. Estupinian. Essentially, we're getting higher XAs and XGs, is what you're telling me, from going for the wing back. No, I'm sticking with what I wanted to do. What I want to do, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm ready to go. You aren't stopping me now. You aren't stopping me. I'm off I go. Dunk in, Rodrigo in, the 2 lads out, James and Bailey out. Getting rid of Reece James feels like a big moment in my season. Ultimately, there's a lot left to go. It's one move. He's a massive doubt. Just you wait and see. He's going to end up playing tonight, isn't he? I've wanted rid of one of the Chelsea lads for a bit. This feels like a mistake. Rodrigo, though. Rodrigo. More attacking returns on Estupinian. Right. Dunk is 4.6. Estupinian's 4.5. That would save me... Oh, God. Trying to press the button. It's hard. Double transfers. I've been very calm this season. I've barely clicked a button. Estupinian, you have convinced me. Someone give me numbers on this guy. Someone give me XGs and XAs. Thoughts on Sterling captain? Go for it, lad. Brian, go for it. Live a little. Do you know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? Salah scores a hat-trick? That's probably the worst that can happen. James is out. Illness confirmed. He won't play. In my head, that was kind of the case, but if it's 100% confirmed, that's always better. I can wildcard James back in a couple of weeks anyway. Exactly, Eric. Exactly, Eric. John, a question. I did a free transfer, and now that James is out, do I switch James to the defender for me, Estupinian, and take a -4 to switch to Silva for a 6 million midfielder? Now that James is out, do I switch him with a defender, Estupinian, and take a -4 to switch to Silva? If you have the money in the bank, I would, and it depends. If you have a starting space on your team, I would rather, if you have somewhere on your team you can upgrade. If you're going to be playing like an Andreas, spend the money, take the -4 for like a Rodrigo, I think. Because it's longer term, it's a good move too. Estupinian is really good, 1.21 XG. Anyone played his first full 90 and had the highest XA and created 3 chances. He looks good. Jack, you've done it. Jack Coates, if you're Portuguese, you've got me. Guys, I'm going to do it. It's time. It's happening. Locked. It's locked. It's done. It's done. Rodrigo's coming in though. Who for? Who for? Oh, I need to play Rodrigo. So now who on earth do I stick on the bench? Oh, it has to be Estupinian, but I don't want to bench him. I want to play him. Captain on Salah. I think this is what I'm rolling with, guys. I'm 90% sure this is what I'm rolling with, unless something changes in the next 20 minutes. Oh, will Zaha start today? I don't know. Did he get a niggle or something? Because ultimately he's pretty much non-negotiable in that team, isn't he? Captain Rodrigo. Oh, Afonso, you saucy little sausage. Captaining Rodrigo. I love it. I love a differential captain. Right, let me try and look at this completely. Rodrigo up against Everton. He could get a haul. But the problem here is that literally any player on this pitch could get a haul. Our teams are all too good. So I feel like there are legitimately there's 3 captaincy options here, and then there's 1 or 2 like left field ones that I'm not really going to do, like your Cancelos and your Trents and Rodrigos, whatever. But ultimately, I think Salah, Haaland and Jesus, they're all very fair. Haaland, playtime might be an issue. How many minutes did he get? 83. He came off a wee bit early. 77, 73, 90, 83. Midweek before Villa at the weekend. Big man Erling off the back of a hat-trick is going to want minutes. He will get minutes. Will he do better than Salah against Newcastle? Newcastle have been pretty good in defence. I've just convinced myself to go Haaland. I've literally just convinced myself to go Haaland. God. It's so hard. Rodrigo for Haaland. Pep was talking up Alvarez. Alvarez is due a start, and if there's a game City are going to be confident they can just win and give Alvarez the shout. Haaland can always come on for 30. No, I'm sticking with Salah. Guaranteed. Guaranteed minutes. Guaranteed 80 minutes. I swear to God, you see if Potter did just say Estupinian was out, I'd cry. Don't do that to me. Do not do that to me. You have like, whew, that made my little belly go. Simicast doing a press conference would suggest Robbo, but the beauty is if Robbo doesn't play, Estupinian does. But then is the play to do this so that in case Robbo only gets 30 minutes, you're back in Estupinian? Is that mad, benching Robbo? I feel like that's a bit mad. 90, 62, 84, 68. Newcastle's too hard a game. I can't see Klopp benching Robbo. I can't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but then Simicast doing the press conference is a big thing. And I don't want Robbo for 15 minutes. Got him! These nuts! Yes, you did get me. Alright, guys. So the big talking point at deadline this week is Reece James, what to do, what not to do. Ultimately, I've got rid of him. It was more so, it was more so to redistribute funds because I didn't like Bailey. So that's really the thing that swung it for me. Bakar's going to kill me, by the way. Last night, Bakar was really anti anything I wanted to do. And I said to him today, I messaged him saying, James and Bailey to Duncan Rodrigo. It might happen. And big man Bakar said, man, I'm not sure it's worth selling James this week. I have my doubts. And my reply was, I'm crazy, Bakar. I'm a madman. A rogue. A differential DJing. If the big man doesn't sign it off, it's probably going to be a bad move. But time will tell. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Drop a like on the stream before you go. Subscribe to the channel. Some mad experts coming in over the next week. We'll have lots of content for you after this game week. There's a quick turnaround for the weekend, but we'll get you lots of content. Do not worry. And if you haven't signed up to Hub and you're thinking about doing it, sign up for free. Go and play around with my team and whatever else. You do have to sign up to do that. But ultimately, if you do decide to go for a paid membership, 30% off using